we get to this time of year and it feels like either doom and gloom or I need to hustle and kill myself. Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge.
And settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips. Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 193. And we are going to talk about Q4 right now because we're deep in it. And I think the consistency of this Q4 panic kind of happens every year.
People are like, you're going to talk about Q4? We're almost done Q4.
I know, right? Well, maybe you've spent the last few weeks panicking and you're going to spend the next few weeks panicking. So let's go and talk a little bit about why, we're hustling to kind of squeeze out these last minute sales, hit these unrealistic goals. Maybe you set a revenue goal at the end of the year or a number of, products you wanted to sell, clients you wanted to book, different things like that. And you're going to try and drive yourself into the ground before the holidays and run sale after sale or run these little extra promos or do a quick launch because you didn't hit your goals. I feel like we get to this time of year and it feels like either doom and gloom or I need to hustle and kill myself.
And we've done both. We have been you if you're sitting there and shaking your head like, yes, I'm not going to reach my goals. I need to do all of these things before January 1. And it's not true. We've definitely shifted our mindset on all of it. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah. And we definitely have done that this year. This year, we straight up, every year we've tried to be like, let's do something for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. We're not Walmart. We don't need to do that. But for some reason, it's like, we need to have a sale. We need to do something.
You kind of feel the pressure because everybody else is doing it. So you're like, we need to have some sort of a sale. Yeah. And it's easier for product-based businesses, right, to promo for Black Friday, as you should probably. But for service businesses, sometimes it's hard. You're like, what is that thing? Or what is that discount or promo? And that's where it's like, you don't have to. You don't have to be a part of that noise.
And if you go back and look too, for us, we would go back and look at those past launches and they weren't good.
No.
They weren't our best launch of the year. No. That didn't happen.
They were very much everybody else is doing a Black Friday promo. We should do one. And it was kind of last minute thrown together.
Yeah. And our audience isn't an audience that's really looking for our services right now. If you sell a website template or if you sell a product that's great for gifting, then sure, this might be your time to shine. But for us, it took us a moment to take a step back and be like, we don't need to do this. This isn't us. And also we love the season. Let's just enjoy it.
Yeah. I think that's where the past couple of years, we've always been grinding or trying to figure out that promo or whatever it might be. And then the holiday's over and we didn't, bask in it the way that we wanted to with our families. So this year, I think I even asked Abby months ago, I was like, are we doing something for Black Friday? And we were both kind of like, nah.
So, who cares?
Who cares?
I know. So
not us.
I mean, we care, but but I do think so. I think this is kind of an interesting mindset shift too, because a lot of times most entrepreneurs and small businesses, we're going to think of December 31st as this ultimate cliff. If we haven't hit our goals, we failed. Or maybe you just are at the point now where you're like, I'm not going to hit them. So screw it.
I give up.
I give up. I move on to January.
The cliff, the game Lemmings. Did you ever play Lemmings?
No.
As a kid? Oh my gosh. Okay. To the
this
audience
is.
who's listening, Lemmings, it was they build things or whatever, but if you didn't build it and you went, they just keep walking. They don't stop. And if you're building something and you don't have a stairway down or whatever, they literally just walk off the cliff and they die.
Done roller coaster tycoon or
I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, kind of similar to that, right?
If you don't finish the roller coaster, you just fly right off
the edge.
Yeah. Well, that's sometimes what it feels like. But I think the cool thing is that you are your own boss, right? So you can actually make up your own year.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of businesses out there that have different fiscal years for their business. So Target, Walmart, Starbucks, they all have their own fiscal year and it does not end in December. So Target's fiscal year ends in February. And you might be thinking like why do people do this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for these businesses, these are their like prime time. So December holidays are huge for them. So because of that, it doesn't really make sense to have an end right there at the end of busy season. And that might be the same for you. Like if you are at this point where your business is so crazy, then maybe your goal should be February to February.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we putting this December 31st in this like pressure of new year, new you, new goals, whatever
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
everything?
There's no hard, fast, rigid rule that we have to follow in the business world when it comes to this.
Yeah. So I think it's cool that just like looking at all these other businesses like Starbucks, I had to look this up because I didn't know. Their fiscal year ends on the Sunday closest to September 30th. It's not even the same every year.
That's crazy.
It's wild. And so that's because fall and the holidays are some of their best quarters. So now Q1 is their best.
Mm-hmm.
They go into the year being like, this is my Q1.
Mm-hmm.
This is my best.
And that's like such a powerful mindset shift too. Like you're just like, wow, like Q1 is starting out with a bang because that's their season, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the months that they perform the best. So it's like shifting it completely from when at the end of the year we're like, shit, we didn't hit our things.
Mm-hmm.
We're the slowest we've ever been, blah, blah, blah. But if you shift it, like it can work in your favor.
Yeah.
Like mentally even.
Yeah. So it is such a mental thing and you make the rules. Like, sure, the IRS is still going to ask for taxes at certain times a year, like
wah, wah.
whatever. They're not going to change their quarterly payments for you, but you can change your goals to structure them to be better. So make it up. Make up what works for you. So I would say it's kind of just having this like overall reality check for Q4. So it might be slower, especially for service businesses and small business owners. I would say it's consistent for us that October is always one of our worst months.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes every October, when the October rolls around, we forget that. So we always go back and we look and we're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Last October, it was really slow too.
And this year we were like, well, hey, it's better than last year because last year was trash. So it's like, it is reassuring to know that, okay, October last year was our worst. November last year was our best. So it's interesting to watch the shifts. And I think tracking this kind of stuff is so important to keep you in the right mindset. So we actually took a tracker, which was from, I'll share it with you, Kleist Creative. She shared a Notion tracker all about tracking your inquiries. And so we've been using that for the past year, and it's been really nice to kind of look at that. And then we also track things using like our own profit first method. So if you go all the way back to episode 50, we had a really good episode all about how to be more confident in your business finances. And it kind of breaks down how we track things still today for our business. So tracking revenue numbers, inquiries coming in, all of that helps us put together this bigger picture of like, okay, this month we had this many inquiries, which equated to this many booked clients. And usually what is really interesting about it is that our lowest revenue months sometimes are our highest inquiries. So what I mean by that is like last January, it was a low revenue month, but it was the most number of inquiries we've ever had. And then we saw that revenue hit in March.
Right.
So because of the way our business is structured and because we have payment plans, we're able to kind of look out and see, okay, just because it's slow, our inquiries are high, that's going to help us later. So it's just like, if you don't have that data, sometimes it can feel difficult to like feel calm or at peace, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when we start to get a little bit nervous, about whatever a month might look like, we're the first thing I always say is like, let's go look at last year. Like, what was it like last year? And like, what were those inquiries? What were we working on at the time? Who was in the queue, all of those things. So I think like Abby said, tracking is so key because sometimes you can see trends like within the business that you're operating, whether it's service or product. Like sometimes there's trends, there's months that are higher, there's months that are lower. And if you can see that consistently, you start to feel less panicky because it's kind of the norm for your business.
Yeah. And it's fun. Like all of this data we review at our annual planning meetings, which we'll talk about this in a sec, but that's also the time of year where we're like, okay, this tracker did work for us. We got some good data on it, but like, how can we make this tracking better for next year to make it even easier on us? So every year we're able to like refine a little bit more to get better data from whatever we need to make sure we feel good. Because that's honestly all you should use the data for, to help you feel better.
Yeah, not to scare you.
For real. So let's talk about what you can actually focus on in the remainder of Q4, especially if you're in this like doom and gloom cliff. What did you call it?
Lemmings. Yeah. Don't go off the lemmings edge.
Yeah.
Keep building. Keep building.
So I think that needs to be in like our Instagram caption or something for this. I know, or, right? You know, a gift.
I can't believe you never played it. We have to Google it after this.
I was a Sims girl. Was that the same season?
I feel like it probably was.
Yeah. I played Sims. Yeah. Okay. So what can you focus on? Annual planning. So this is something we do every year, and we absolutely love to do it in the fall. We've tried to do it at the very end of the year multiple times, and the season just for us didn't work out. I would say you can do this whenever you want.
Again, there's no hard, fast rule for this. Like whatever feels good for you and your business and the time of year. I would say like we like to choose a time of year that we absolutely love. We love the fall for multiple different reasons. And we're able to still be outside so we can get a breath of fresh air, all the fall drinks, the colors changing. So like it's just a very energizing season for us personally and in work. So we always choose the fall for ourselves, but that doesn't mean you can't choose the middle of summer on a boat. Like you make it fun and make it, obviously you want to like get some stuff out of it. Like you're not just partying, but do it at a time of year that really lights you up too. Because if we were to do it in January, however, and it's dark at 4.
I know, that's true. However, I will say one of the nice things about January and February is like for us, seasonality plays into it. So like, yes, it's cold and dark, but I feel less like if it's cold and dark, I'm not worried about getting outside. I'm
That's
like,
true.
You know,
or like
I'm totally fine being holed up like in an Airbnb or a hotel.
Kind of kicks in a little bit.
Yeah. So I would say it could be like maybe January,
maybe
February.
Go the worst month.
I know. Maybe it's your slow season and that's like the perfect time to get away. Or better yet, if you have the money for it,
go to Costa Rica.
Trip. Yeah. Book an all-inclusive, hole up an annual plan and go somewhere where you have to shut your phone off. And
I mean, that's the goal for us someday.
Yes.
Someday.
It will happen.
We'll report back on that.
I know. So go tune into episode 141 if you want to hear more about the annual planning. I would say we have a template in there too, so you can steal that template. That's kind of what we use to structure our annual planning days. So these are typically 2 full-ish days of us just working on our business. Email out of office is on. Everything's closed. We're looking at data, and like in the template, it walks you through all of that. So we make sure we have time to like brainstorm and think big and have fun. And then we have other times to like review data. And it's always like shocking. It's always shocking.
It's shocking. And like, I am not a huge numbers data gal, but I always love looking at those during our annual planning meeting. And it's just funny because again, it's not something I typically nerd out over, but when you look at it over the course of the year and like the growth or your opportunities or whatever it might be, it's those numbers are really fun to look at and then plan for in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next one is working on community. So not everybody is hustling and grinding in this time. So taking that time to really focus on making genuine connections, because it might be a little bit slower of a season. We're already like making genuine connections in our personal lives during this time because it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. So we're all kind of feeling all those feels. So why not use that in your business community as well versus trying to like hustle and grind? So things like freshening up inside your community groups, grabbing coffees with local communities or small businesses, joining something totally new and local, and just getting out and making those connections. Again, it's such a fun time of year especially with all the, the decor out there, and coffee shops are all decked out, and it's just that time of year where everything's a bit cooler, so you can go grab a warm cup of coffee. And I think this is a time where we can really actually sit down, think about our year, think about our business, but we can share that with others. We can actually like be a part of our community and take a beat and not feel like we have to constantly be working, especially during this time, like working extra or whatever to try to hit that goal that we might not be close to.
Yeah. And I think during these times too, so if you're setting up like coffee dates with old mentors, old coworkers, old people in your community that you just haven't hooked up with in a long time, I think coming in with the mindset of how can I help you, not how can you help me, is going to really structure those meetings a whole lot better. So like coming to it and being like, how can I help you? Like, is there anything that I can do for you? Or what are you looking for right now? What do you need? It just really, and usually people want to reciprocate. So I think that can be a really good thing to do when you go into those coffee meetings too.
Like, are you having a conflict with a client or something? Or like, how can I help you? Or like things like that. We've even like in some of our communities, people have been like, well, I've got this client and they're struggling with X, Y, and Z. So it's even just us giving some of our free knowledge on like, well, have you tried this? Or like, what about this direction? Or you could reply like this. So I think it's even just small things like that. You don't have to like go into it giving your whole service away or something, but even just some of your knowledge and education around things goes so far, and people remember that.
Yeah, for sure. So another thing you can spend some time doing at the end of the year, especially if it's slower, is to really focus on your foundation. I think this can be one of the most stressful things to do when you feel like you need sales or inquiries and you feel like you need to be selling all the time. But a solid foundation is actually going to work in your favor and helping you now when you enter busy seasons actually know things are still working. So when we talk about this, we're talking about updating your website, those pages that you just like haven't gotten around to doing, working on your SEO, optimizing your pages, writing new blog content, maybe building a new freebie. That's an amazing way to capture new audience too. Building a new freebie or a resource to grow your email list, maybe working on your email workflows. So welcome sequences, your freebie sequences, like how people actually enter your workflow. And then maybe even it's just like, maybe you wanted to start a podcast. Maybe there's like, you wanted to dabble in LinkedIn. Like maybe there's different things that you wanted to do. And this is the time to do it. It can feel super stressful to do that. But ultimately, all of these things help you grow your business for the long term. So creating something like a quiz is going to help grow your email list. And now your email list is who you talk to when you're ready to sell things. So it's not thinking of it as like I'm taking a break from sales. It's thinking of it as I'm helping my future self get like not have this super down lull roller coaster that I'm having right now. Let's fix my future so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. And those are the perfect times to work on things like that when you don't, feel like you need to be hustling and grinding. Because it just gives you that space and freedom to do that. So the last thing that we have here to focus on in Q4 is outsourcing, which this can also seem like kind of a scary thing, especially if like the income isn't what it used to be or you're trying to focus on sales. But sometimes I think we need to flip that script, and some of the things that we work on the day-to-day is something that we can easily outsource so we can focus on moving the needle bigger with the things that we should really be focusing on within our business. So also, we all know that it's the end of the year and sometimes we need to spend some money for tax purposes. So now would be the perfect time to invest in something as far as outsourcing goes, whether it's hiring somebody or looking into different tools like for automation or whatever that might be. So just kind of asking yourself what you need help with, maybe some of the things that you shouldn't be necessarily pouring all of your time and energy into and that somebody else could be helping you with while you can focus on bigger things. So if you tune into episode 173, we kind of talk about all the things that you need to know before your first hire. So that'll kind of give you a glimpse at what that looks like. But again, outsourcing can be a scary thing, but it typically ends up being one of those things where you do it and then you look back and you're like, why didn't I do this sooner?
1,000%. We felt that way every single time. And I think a good like thing to do right now would probably be look at how you're spending your time this past week. How'd you spend your time yesterday? How did you spend your time 2 weeks ago? Like just think about the little things, or maybe if you don't remember, because half the time I don't remember either. Like, what did I do yesterday, Court? And she'll tell me. I have no idea.
Vice versa.
Yeah. And so I think sometimes if you are forgetting, then write it down. Yeah. Write down what you're doing and then ask yourself, is this something a CEO should be doing? Is this actually making me money? Or am I just checking boxes that aren't actually growing the business? And that can be the biggest wake up call to be like, I need to hire someone.
And that's kind of what happened with us. We were like, wow, we are doing so many things that we shouldn't be doing that we could have a very capable team help us with. And so we've slowly added to our team throughout the past 2 years. And it has been so helpful for us to kind of step away from some of those things that we don't need to be putting our time into, because other people can do them just as good, if not better, while we can focus our energy on some of those CEO tasks.
So this episode is your permission slip in Q4 that it's okay if you don't do a Black Friday sale. It is a-okay if your December is slower than you expected, because guess what? You're not the only one. No, you're not out there on your own island. A lot of people are experiencing this. It's also okay to use this season for planning and prepping and actually resting. Maybe you just freaking rest instead of sell.
Yes.
So
I
it's
think
okay.
That's the biggest one. Like, just be okay with it and rest. Like, take this time to rest, because things are going to ramp up soon, probably. So it's just like, yeah. Like, actually just be a human and take a minute, take a nap, you know?
Lean into it, I'd say, because things typically always come back around. So sometimes your most powerful sales are going to come from those seeds that you planted in Q4. So stick with it, work on your foundation, rest up, and it's okay. Don't do that Black Friday sale.
You got this.
It's going to be fine.
If you liked this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.